Okay.
Well, the Wi-Fi connection is good. In my apartment, something crack. It's not good.
It's tough. Is that?
Okay, let's go. So hello everyone. Today we have a special guest for our from the for the body talk of KMUTT University student, right? So welcome to our new podcast episode. And then we are gonna discuss the very interesting topic today. So for whether you are long life, is long time listeners or the first time listeners, we bring you to be a part of very interesting topic listeners, right? Okay. So for the first of all, I would like to introduce our special guest. Okay, a study from Kuwait.
So, hello everyone. My name is Khoi. I'm from Vietnam. I'm currently studying master degree in applied English studies. Nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourself. And then the next one, I would like to invite August. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Right. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. And my name is Ao, and you can call me August as well. I'm also one of the, a master student at KMUTT at Solar. So nice to meet you guys.
Thank you for introducing yourself. And then the next one, I would like to invite Mon. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mon. I'm also come from Vietnam, like Khoi, and I'm like August classmate. Khoi is our senior. Okay, so I also come from the same program with Ang, apply English studies at KMUTT. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you for introducing yourself. And then the next one, I would like to invite Yumi. Okay, introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Yumi, and I'm also a master degree student at KMUTT who is studying applied English studies. And I'm also one of the facilitators at Fluency Butterfly International. So nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourself. Okay, this is all our special guests tonight. So that we have a very interesting topic today, right? For a new focus episode. Okay, let's begin. And this, are you ready to dive into our special thought-provoking discussion? Okay, so for the first point, I would like to discuss like that. How has learning a new language, especially English language, how it benefit your personal or career growth? So for this point, I would like to invite Kuei to discuss this point. Okay.
I think the greatest benefit for me in terms of learning English is the opportunities to see the world from different angles. I mean, like when you learn a new language, it's not just about the language, but it's also about the culture. It's also about the mindset. So you actually see the world from many landscapes. And another thing is that you can, for me as a person who love culture a lot. So when I learn a new language, I got to learn that culture from the viewpoint of its citizen, of its people. So I guess it is the opportunity to actually engage in a new culture. And that is the biggest benefit for me of learning a new language, especially English.
Okay, thank you for
So
yours. Interesting. Okay. Yes, you can do this.
Yeah, I just like to say I totally agree with Koi, right? So when we learn a language, it's not just about learning a language, we also learn the culture. Actually, there is even a theory, right? Like languages are like a shape how we think as well, right? Our thoughts, right? So actually when we learn language, it's about like learning how the native speakers of the language think actually. So of course, like for me as well. So what I mean, I just want to agree with Koi first. So if I have to, answer the question, so how the English, right, has benefit my personal and career growth, right? Actually, Actually, it helped me a lot as well because I would say like my English learning journey started like maybe over 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, and I would say, I am who I am today because I was, I learned English actually.
Yes.
So, of course, I had a lot of opportunities. I became an English teacher and I got a scholarship because, actually like in this university because of actually learning English, right? And I got to meet a lot of, how to say, like-minded professionals from this like a ELTV, right, in different countries as well. So that's because I am learning English actually. So I would say it could be a story actually if I have to tell like a really from like 10 years ago until now. But anyway, I just want to say that it has helped me a lot with personally and also professionally.
Okay.
Okay, like I also want to share something about this question because
Yes.
like actually my reason is a bit different from Koi. And also but actually it's similar to August. I want to learn English because I want to broaden my networking. Actually, because I love to make friends with different people from different countries. And as we all know that like language like an international language, so we can use English to communicate with a lot of people like from different countries. And of course, like right now, I have friends in US, like in India, Korea, China, Myanmar, like a lot of friends like that.
Yes.
And even it also can broaden my knowledge about the world, and I become more open-minded. Actually, like in the past, I'm not like open-minded like this. I really close-minded. I have like a fixed mindset in a lot of things. But then after I learned English and then I talk to different person and see their perspective about the world, and I learn from their perspective, and I tend to accept things. And also, I can access to different resources. For example, like we can read papers, we can read
Yes.
books in English. So it also can help us to improve our knowledge, like general knowledge. And I also have my idol Taylor Swift, and I can understand her
Yes, I know
songs.
this.
Yeah, like actually in the past I just can understand or I can feel the melody. But right now I can understand like the how can I say like a metaphor or like a meaning behind her songs, and I feel empowered by my idols. That's also like one of the benefits.
Okay. Yes. Yes, very good for sharing your opinions, including Koi, August, and Mon. Yes, you have the share meanings according to the question, and then you have a different point of views, right? So for the you mentioned three of you mentioned that you can see a lot of cultures, right? You understanding the cultures and open-minded, and you got a lot of knowledge, and then you have a lot of opportunities after you come here. Before I mean that during, before, after, you will get a lot of opportunity, right? Okay. Yeah, you shared a lot of very invaluable experience for this topic, right? So, okay, what about you, Yumi?
Yes, they already mentioned a lot of benefits like
Yes.
uh, we can make yes, I also got a lot of international friends by using English. And also another thing is that we can learn something new by using English because most of the YouTube videos are in English. And if we have like some new hobbies, we can just watch the video and we can do it at by ourselves. I think that's also one of the benefits of learning English.
Yes.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree because I am also learning another language by using English, as a media. So really, it's like a bridge, right? Like
Yes.
not just a language actually. Most of the I think almost all the information, I think in English we can learn, right? Just because we know English actually. So it's like a bridge.
Yeah, yes. Yes, you mentioned that English is not just a language, it's a bridge, to pass to go on another language, another field, another areas. Yes, totally agree with you. It's very good, right? Okay, so for the second point, so we have already mentioned the opportunities, right? So that have a beginning already. So, okay, yeah, this here, I would like to discuss about the motivations. Okay, how do specific goals and milestones in the learning process of English language, especially, right, have keep you motivated in your English journeys? Okay, so in this topic, I would like to start with August.
Okay. So it's about goals and milestones, like that help
Yes.
me like keep motivated. You mean? All right. So actually I would say like in my life, I had like for example, every year I would have some goal, like for example, maybe professional goal, and also academic goals, even personal goal, right? So um of course, like if we accomplish, right, when we accomplish our goal, we feel motivated, right? But actually it's how to say, there is a truth, right? There's a truth that is, it's not about sometimes, when you want to accomplish something, it's not about motivation, it's also
Yeah,
about
yes.
discipline as well, right? Because we I mean, think about it, right? Like for the past few years, like we had a really, really, I think, bad situations, right? And then I would say everybody feels depressed, right? But anyway, we have to keep going, right? And then why? And then at that time, there is discipline, right? Uh, so anyway, I think first, like we have the like, for example, I would study English. Actually, English is kind of like because it's my hobby, right? My hobby means I don't learn grammar like every day, not something like that. So there is something like for example, I will read a book or I will read a YouTube video or I will read a blog, for example, right? And then um, everything is related to English, right? So somehow I am learning English, right? Like unconsciously, right? And then after that, maybe for example, back in the days, I will compete in a like an impromptu talk, like a debate, something like that, right? And then okay, I would say I got like some achievement, and then it also helped me motivated as well, you know. And of course, um, actually there are some times that I feel depressed as well, right? But the thing is, just trying to how to say discipline yourself and then trying to get a habit of learning English. Okay, don't just wait for the motivation.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your very interesting experience and your tips for how to keep learning the language, English language, right? Yes, you mentioned that motivation is not always motivated, right? You just need discipline, habit, right? Right. Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
even you are
yeah, it's
depressed,
about
you need
habit.
to motivate it, right?
You need to
Yes.
keep doing. No, doesn't
Yeah.
have to be motivated. You need to keep doing
Yeah.
something.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about
So
you?
it's
Yeah. So you mentioned yes. Yeah. Very good. Okay. And then Mon, so how was your opinion about this?
Um, Actually, I have a bit difference in perspective with like I feel like motivation is still really significant. Because just imagine like I treat English also like my hobby, and it also can serve another hobbies. So at first I think we should have like a strong why in whatever we do. For example, like improving your English skill. Actually, I consider everything I want to do in my life as a project. And whenever I need to do the project, I will come up with like why I need to do that project, like a clear objectives and also like clear why. For example, I want to learn English because I want to understand my idol's song like that. So like I'm gonna come with like a clear objective like this, and then I'm gonna think like, okay, so how I can understand my idol songs. So which means I need to learn grammar. I need to learn vocabulary. I need to read her lyrics and analyze her lyrics. maybe like because of Taylor Swift. That's why I'm in this program. I analyze language and becomes like kind of on a way to become a linguist. Also become Taylor Swift. Just like for example, and I also have like different reason to learn English. Like I want to learn English because I want to become a teacher. Like English teacher, I want to help my students. So how can I help my student? I gotta ask myself these kind of questions. My student need grammar, my student needs vocabulary, also just like me. They also just like me, like a English learners, and they also need vocabulary and grammar, like that. So actually my English learning journey also start from these questions, and I gonna outline like the more specific, the better. Because I feel like if we can break like the task smaller and it's like achievable. For example, I want to improve my English proficiency, and it's really abstract and also really complicated. And then I'm gonna break it down like, okay, so first of all, I need to see what is my band score. Like we'll do some standardized tests, for example, like IELTS, TOEFL, things like that, to know like where I am right now. For example, like I am at the B1, B2, or A1, A2 level. So what should I do next? So I will maybe attend some classes in English Center, and they can give me like a route. Okay, so I should start with grammar, this book, that class, or things like that. You can even like want to, go to the English Center or learn by yourself. But you need to choose like how can I say, qualify like a qualified one. For example, like when you want to the English want to go to the English Center, you still need to find like a qualified English Center or want to learn by yourself. Like as August said, we need discipline and also like find a good book so that you can learn by yourself. For example, like that. So in short, so I talk a lot, right? But then only two key main idea. First of all, clear why. And then second, make like smaller tasks, be more specific on what you want to do. And that's it.
Yes, okay, it's very good, right? You mentioned
I think,
very a lot. Yes, go. Yes, it's okay.
I think it's about clear objective, right? Like Mon mentioned, like a clear and achievable, right? Achievable, specific, like a
measurable.
how to say, small object, like a small goals, like a step-by-step small milestones. It's also really effective way actually, because we say like, for example, I want to learn English. That's too general, right? Like, I want to speak English. That's too general, right? We need to make it more specific and more achievable, more measurable, right?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes. The goals, you need, even you have a big goal, you can go easily, right? You cannot go easily, just like Mon and you mentioned, step and step, little by little, small tasks need to be accomplished, right? Yes, very good point. And then you already mentioned about your teacher experience. Mon already mentioned teacher experience, how to handle teachings English to the learners, and then how to improve our English language. We need qualify standardize how to check our level correctly, so it's like the reliability, right? So that, yes, very good point. Okay, so the clear goals. So you mean you focus the objectives, the clear goals, and the small steps. Yes, we cannot go bigger. Just start with small. According to August mentioned, motivated always motivated, right? You can go keep going whether you're happy or not. Okay. So what about you? You me?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. It's also like it's also about, like I said, habit, right? Like for example, maybe if you are a coffee lover, for example, every morning you will get up and like unconsciously, no, sorry, subconsciously you will maybe pour some water and then get a cup of coffee. Like you do it without you noticing, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yes,
It's
it's a
like
very good tips.
yeah, habit. So, but it takes maybe years, I think, to become like that.
Maybe, yes, I think so. Yes, a habit is not tomorrow or after tomorrow, yes. Okay, thank you for your sharing and discussion about this point. What about you, Me? How do you think the point?
About motivation, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my motivation is a little bit different from them, really.
Yes,
Because when
very
I
interesting.
was young, I attended an English class. Actually, my motivation to learn English started from my love for money.
Oh.
So whenever we got all the correct answer, like our teacher give us the pocket money. So like I want to collect all the money. So I try every time to be the first of the class. And then also the teacher made a habit of reading for me. So I might say that because of her, I started to read English books. I started to become really interested in English. So I think it's also a good teaching method, right? To motivate the student.
It's a reward.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really a good one.
And also another thing is, like Mon, to understand the idol. But here my case is different because I like K-pop idols. And 10 years ago, it's not like nowadays. We have translation, rarely have translation. Most of them are in English translation. There's no Burmese translation for us. So as I don't understand Korean, in order to understand my idol, I have to read the English subtitle of every videos. So that's also another motivation.
It's very good. Okay, thank you for your suggestions and discussion about this point. Yes, you said, yes, we have a, just like behaviorism, right? Stimulus and response, just like reward. Okay, no punishment, right? No punishment, huh? Okay.
No
Just
punishment,
reward.
yes.
Okay, so this is the motivation for you learning the language. Okay, as you mentioned with your idol, yes, already more mentioned Taylor Swift, like right? But Taylor Swift is native speaker, but you are another language, Korean language. Yes, this is all one of the motivation for you, right? You need to translate because no directly Korean to Myanmar, right? So that's why you need to English language. That's a very good point. Thank
Yes,
you for
English
your
was the
sharing.
medium for us.
Yeah, yes. And then what about you, Hui? But the last but not least.
I think for me, when I heard the question about goal or motivation, I think of like personal goal and professional goal. Those those two kind of goals kind of help each other in my life. For example, my personal goal of learning English is to travel and learn about the world, right? So I have to learn English to talk with people around the world, and I also learn English to read all of the materials or watch videos about different cultures from the world. But in order to get and now that I become an English teacher, I also need to develop my English so that I can teach my students. And my ultimate goal is to become a teacher trainer. So I also need to use English to communicate with teacher and to train them as well. But then those professional goals also create like the money, the income for me, so that I can actually achieve my personal goal. So whatever it is, it's always very, from what we have discussed, we can also see that goal and motivation is something very personal. So we have four to five people here, and all of their stories are very different, and something that's very unique to each of us. So for me, the English has helped me to explore the world, and English also has provided me a career, and that career can actually help me to achieve my personal goal as well. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay, very thank you for your suggestions and experience. You are sharing your experience, your knowledge, and your opinions according to this point. Yes, you mentioned personal goals and professional goals. And then I heard this is the income, right? So it's income, yes. If you achieve this kind of goals, yes, money will come to you. Money will come along with you, right? This is a very good. We can see that effect, right? This is the effect on your, hard working reward. Okay, okay. So thank you for all of your, sharing opinion about this. Okay, well, let's go to the next point. Okay, this is the next point is based on your experience, maybe, right? So you are all have experience, just like teachers, English teacher, right? I think, you are part of students, part of English teacher. So that according to this point, I would like to, discuss like this: what methods and tools have you found most effective in your English learning journey? So to share with, our juniors, our students. Okay. So this here's I would like to start with Mon.
Right now I'm still reflecting because I learned English since I was in grade 3 or grade 2, something. So I use a lot of tools and also method. But I think the most effective one is the thing that you can use it like in a routine. For example, for me, I use YouTube. Like actually, YouTube is a really good source to learn English. For example, you can start with something you're interested. Like Yumi also mentioned, like she watched her idol would have like an English subtitle, and for me, like I also have like Blackpink is like my another idols, and I usually like watch their video, and sometimes like Blackpink also say in English, so I also can learn from their accent. I mean, I can imitate some of their words to be fancy like them. Just kidding. And I like my idol is Taylor Swift, so I also like watch some Taylor Swift interviews or things like that. And also like I'm really interested in science, so there are some channels that talk about science, or some other different channels that provide you like a really useful knowledge. So you just start with your interest and find the channels or find a tool that can provide you that kind of interest or can help you build up your hobbies. Or you have like a hobby like I have a hobby like playing guitars or playing ukuleles. So I also like can watch tutorials about ukulele. I also love cooking, so I also like really interested in cooking recipes or things like that. So for me, YouTube.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Very thank you for your sharing your opinion about this. Okay. You mentioned the YouTube. Yes, we cannot deny this is not important, right? YouTube is very, affecting in learning any language and things. Everything is on YouTube, right? You can learn Thai, English, Japanese, Korean, whatever, Italian, something like that. Okay, that's very good. So that you mentioned that start with your interest. That's a very interesting point, right? Yes. So the first thing is being interesting about your what are you doing, something like that, right? That's very interesting. And then you mentioned that you based on your idol interview, and then based on your interesting subjects like the science, right? And then another kinds of like a tutorial about the cooking, playing guitar, just like the musical instrument, right? Yes, yes, very interesting. Yes, yes. Thank you for your suggestion, right?
I just want to add in like one more point. I just want to emphasize it because like learning English is like a long-term project.
Yes.
Like for me, because I consider it's like a project. Okay, like learning English is like a long-term goal. So you need to do it like as a routine.
Yes,
Like August also mentioned, like we need to keep like a discipline for learning English, but don't make it like to become like a really cruel. Don't be cruel to yourself. Like be disciplined, but at the same time enjoy. Like we should feel happy when you learn English because it's like a really useful tool and it can make you feel happy instead of like feel sad or like feels like someone forced you to do something. Don't feel like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
make it like happy and enjoy the journey.
You know, I remember just like our grade 10 system, right? Teaching English in our classroom is not happy, right? You know, the bridge, just memorize the poem, right? And then the moon, the calendar, just memorize everything. So it's not very happy for us any English in our classroom or when we are grade 10. That's why. Okay. According to these opinions, I would like to invite Yumi. What about you? About these effective tools and methods for learning English language.
I think the most effective way is to have exposure to English
Exposure, right? Yes.
because
Yes.
like there are some methods like we learn formally and informally. I think having an exposure is learning informally, but it really effective. For example, like I prefer reading,
Mm,
so I learn new words and new vocabulary from reading.
mm,
But on the other hand, I don't like watching English movies or listening to English music. So
mm,
in the past, I lack of like listening skill. I'm not very good at listening because I really don't have an exposure to listening music or like native speaker speaking. But however, after I came to Thailand, I have to use English every day in our communication. So I noticed that I really improved started from that time. So it's like when we have this time, I have balance in all four skill, like all the
mm.
skill, we have to use all the skill in everyday life.
Yeah, yes.
So I believe that exposure is the most important thing in learning English. Because if you just learn from book and you don't use it in reality, what is the point of learning, right?
Mm, yes. Okay, it's very good. Thank you for your sharing experience. Yeah, you mentioned exposure. Just like this, we can see that similar with Mona mentioned just routine, right? Yes, exposure day by day, every day. So every single day, it's just like, and then being practical, right? Not just in your mind. Being practical, you have to use in the reality. And then you mentioned in this here is this informally. Yes, sometimes we need to learn informally, right? Not just only formally. So not just in the classroom, not just in the
Yes,
school.
not just memorizing the rules and
Yeah,
words.
yes. Yes. I think it's both formal and informal is very important, right? Okay, so what about your viewpoint, Hui?
I think that each of us will have this kind of like critical incident where there is
Mm,
this very special event that make us really want to invest a lot in our English journey. But another thing I learned from the two responses is that it must come from something that is very happy or exciting or something that really triggers your curiosity to actually engage in a very long journey like this. If I look back on my journey, I think that there are some significant events. The first thing is that seeing my grandmother on her deathbed, like it was like during the last 2 months of her life, and at those moments she can only count in French. So those are the moments that I saw like learning a foreign language can do something to your brain. Even on her deathbed, she used French to count, not Vietnamese. So I was like, okay, something's really interesting about this. And then during my time, cable TV is something quite new, not very new, but quite new. So we have Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and something like that. So it triggers my curiosity, like how can I get into understand all of these things. So it really helps me a lot in terms of like, okay, I need to learn this language. And
mm,
and I also agree with you in terms of exposure. For me, exposure is the opportunities that you can see that you are using this language to communicate with others. You are using this in your life, so you can see why we have the need to learn it. So that's what I think like, and from all of this, we can see that uh finding your joy, finding your happiness, finding your excitement or something in learning English is a very powerful tool, no? Because nowadays there are a lot of them, right? but with how to say, with an inappropriate mindset, all of the tools will be useless. But with the appropriate mindset, you can actually use those tools and make use of them for a long journey. Yeah, so it's all about the mindset here. It's the most powerful tool, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your, sharing your experience and your knowledge and opinion about this. Yeah, you mentioned this critical incidents, right? And then even though even we have a different preference about our learning experience, right? You mentioned our brains. Yes, according to I understand, you mentioned this. If you learn a new language, your brain just like open a new door to the world, right? To see a new experience, new opportunities, something like that. Okay. So yes, in this curiosity, you mentioned curiosities, right? Excitement, and then with appropriate mindset, right? So this is very important tools in learning any languages, I think, right? So, yes. Okay. Well, thank you for your sharing experience. What about August? The last but not least.
All right. So actually, right, like from three speakers, right, they already mentioned about the importance of exposure routine, right? Exposure and routine, and I totally agree with them because I think I already talked about the importance of rather what is it habits myself as well. So it's really important. Then another thing I would like to add is okay. So the question is, how are we going to, for example, use the English right in the real life? That could be challenging actually, right?
Yeah, yes.
Because I myself, had a difficulty actually, right? I have this knowledge in my head. Okay, I want to apply, and I had nowhere actually, to practice English, especially for example. At the time, maybe it's around, I don't know, like 2016, 17, right? And then actually back then, like English conversation club, so like they were not that popular yet actually. So at the so what I want to say at the time, I actually, how to say, like I think at the time I was learning my bachelor's degree ending, right? And there is no environment. There was no environment like I can practically use English. So at the time I have to find myself in an environment where I can speak and I can practice English. So like that. And like actually specifically I went to like American Center Yango, where they offer like several conversation clubs like that. So for those who don't have a place to practice English, okay, sometimes I would say like the opportunity doesn't knock your door, okay, and that you have to go find the door by yourself. Like for me, like you have to go find a place that you can practice English by, then what I mean, like, so that of course, or like Yumi, mentioned, what is the point, right? What's the point of learning if you don't use them, right? So actually, I think these days it's become easier because technically online, right? Like there are a lot of conversation out there. So trying to join them, don't be afraid and don't be shy, because normally for Burmese people like me, like us, they will feel really shy, when actually I think not just a Burmese stuff, I think it's like an Asian stuff, I think, right? Asian stuff. Yeah, we will feel really, really shy and afraid to make mistakes. So please don't. Okay. Actually, if you can get rid of, that kind of fear and shyness, you are like halfway there already, actually, like because as far as according to my experience, right, like the people without, I would say, without fear, like without fear to speak, for example, speak in front of other people, speak to other people, speak like a public speaking, for example, they improve a lot faster than those who don't, or those who are afraid of speaking English actually. So please don't be afraid, okay, and don't be shy. That's what I want. I think that is the tips I want to add in, I think, for this question. Yeah.
Yes, very good point. Yes, thank you for your sharing this point. Yeah, you mentioned this like even though we are learning, we are studying. So if we don't have nowhere, if we have nowhere to to use this practically, it's not useful, right? So that you mentioned your platform like there's the conversation club. Yeah. So that you need to find yourself to be trained or to be give opportunity to others so that you make a chance for others, right? It's a very good point. So that even though you submit this, you cannot sit here, you cannot study here, right? Go find a chance, go find a place to interact with each other, to use your language, to use your English language. Yes, very good point. And then the next point is that your mindset, just like I think, just like we mentioned, appropriate mindset, right? You mentioned that no fear, okay? Don't be shy, don't be afraid of speaking English, even you are not fluent in or not, okay? So that is a very good point, okay? Okay, so and this is the end of my first. Okay, and we change to Yumi as a horse. Okay, okay. Welcome to Yumi.
Okay, so I will be the host for now. So now I would like to start my first question. So in our learning journey, we might encounter some challenges and difficulties, right? So I would like to know, how did you overcome? How did you feel? Try to feel positive when you face those challenges. So can we start from Mon?
Like again, I need to reflect a bit. Okay, so actually, my English learning is like a really long-term experience, and of course, I have like several challenges. Um, like the most significant ones I need to say is um, when I was in middle school or high school, I just focused on my score. Actually, like I learned English because I want to get a high score, and it's like my ultimate goal at that time. Um, that's why I feel a lot of pressure. I felt a lot of pressure whenever I learned English, and I feel like if I didn't get enough the score I want, it's like my failure, and I feel like myself as a failure at that time, really, really seriously. Um, and I have to overcome that feeling. Um, like I try to talk to myself, like learning English is a happy journey. Like don't make it like so serious. Even you can take some competition, like English competition, but all of them just like for you to become like a better version of yourself. Like it's a challenge to help you be better, but don't treat it like really, really serious and then feel pressure and then you feel like English learning is not like happy thing, but like something that like torture your happiness. So shouldn't be like that. So like my biggest challenge at that time, but when I was in my bachelor degree, like I met a lot of friends and we learn English and then we share our experience while learning English. For example, like they have idols and then we also share with them about our songs, like our favorite songs, and then we sing together like that. So I made my English learning like gentle, like more gentle, more tranquil than the past. And the past like is like something that damaged my happiness. So it shouldn't be like that. And another challenge I want to mention is actually I learned English in the grammar translation method. Maybe like it's a bit how can I say like specific in our major like grammar translation. So which means like you translate the English directly to your mother tongue, just like that. And I get used to that method. And actually I don't think it's like a really good one because it's like I really rely on my mother tongue whenever I want to say something. and I feel really shy whenever I want to express my ideas, and also really afraid of grammar, mistakes. I feel like people will judge me when I say something wrong, like grammatically, things like that. So I don't want to practice a lot, and it affects my speaking skills. So actually, until I went to bachelor degree and I learned about other methods like communicative approach or other approach, like we will use like authentic materials. Like I mentioned, like I try to approach some YouTube channels and I try to listen to these authentic materials. Also, like, I try to seek for opportunity to talk with native speakers. Like back in the day, I was in a bachelor degree. I joined like a project talking like 15 hours talking to native speakers. And yes, I feel like my English become better at that time. And I also asked my friends like in US, like the one that my partner in that program. I asked them like, how do you feel about my English proficiency? And they said like, oh, you talk really naturally. And I feel like, what, really? Like, I never think like that in my life. And they said like, oh, your English is really good. You should be proud of yourself, things like that. And they were like, oh, learning English is something really happy. You can make friends, make it happy. Maybe my keyword for today is just like happy. And that's it. Like two challenge. First of all, don't be so serious. Like the first challenge is take your the first challenge for me. I take my English learning is really serious stuff. And the second one, try like a enjoyable method.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Mon. Yes, I agree with you. Like, I think most of us feel like that when we were Asian because in most Asian school we only focus on the score and we feel pressured about learning. So I think that's the things among us. Yeah, and we need to be happy when we are learning. So thanks for sharing. And how about Saul?
Okay, so according to this phrase, we can say that how do we stay positive? Yet, and this learning English, whatever, English or any other language is not, easygoing, right? But just like your mom mentioned, August mentioned, so, being Asian, being Asian students, we have shyness, we are phrase, serious, because according to your mentions, we more focus on the score. Yes. For example, when we go back to our high school, we learn English in the classroom, not just language proficiency, just language, just a test score. That's one we feel sometimes, according to Mon said, if you don't meet the score you want, you feel depressed, and then sometimes, anxious, and then serious about your learning. Not so sometimes you forget about happiness learning English. So this kind of mindset, we need to change, right? So that I think just like Moment say, happy is very important. Okay, for the challenges, yes, we have a lot of challenges when we go back to our high school. For example, the first point is the internet connections. From 2010, 2011, I think internet connection is not, widespread in our country. That's one. To be English, learners, we just more focus on, the readings, right? Just like you mentioned, yes. Being a reader, English reader is you know, the most common way for us to learn English. That's one. But now it's very good for us. We have a lot of channel platforms to learn English, and we have a lot of opportunities, just like in this here community, just like community body talks. Okay, we have a chance to share our English language experience, and then this kind of practice English language, right? Okay, I think the challenges is now, not the outside, it's just the inside of you, so in the outside you have a lot of resources to learn English. This inside, okay, being motivated, it means like that you need your effort to be motivated, right? Not always motivated, right? So that fearless, not fearless. I mean, just don't be fierce. Just like that. Don't fear, and then don't be serious. That's all. Yes.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's similar, right? We have similar ideas, like we need to have fun when we are learning. And how about August?
All right, okay. So, okay. Of course, like for me as well personally, I had a lot of challenges, really like a lot of challenges. But I think, like the journey doesn't have to be positive all the time, positive all the time actually, personally, because sometimes, um, like a how to say, for example, like before impromptu talk, right? Before about public speaking, it's normal to feel nervous, right? Like for maybe you know what I mean. So because sometimes like other emotions can help you be mindful, about yourself, so that you can reflect upon your actions, like something like that. So so how to say all right, so back to the question itself, right? The challenges. So the most challenging point, the most challenging thing I think for me is I would earlier, right? I said don't be afraid, right? Because I was really afraid actually of speaking English in public in front of other people, really. So of course, like you guys, I also had to learn English. With actually, I wouldn't even say it's common translation. It was more like a memorization, right? More, right? Because I was really bad at English actually when I was back in school. Really, I think it would be the subject with lowest mark. I think so. Like so anyway, and I would say I started learning English with actually grammar, and writing stuff, something like that. So of course, like there were like a lot of rules in my head, grammatical, and then which made me stop speaking English actually. So I was really afraid of speaking English at the time. And what I did was actually, okay, this is something I have to change, right? Because that is why I actually at the time I stopped learning grammar. Okay, I really stopped learning grammar. Okay, no more grammar, and I focused on speaking English more. And what I did was, like for example, in the club, right? I'm trying to give myself a little bit of pressure. Okay, you have to speak. You have to speak like that. You have to speak, especially for example, when I have to, when there is when sometime, right, they choose a speaker, right? Okay, who wants to speak something like that at that time? Okay, I will say like that. So I try to give myself, I try to normalize myself speaking English, force myself like that. Or at the time, that is why like I had a quote myself like you need to fight against your fear, you know, because I think that quote comes from my speaking practicing speaking English. I think so. So really, I think like learning grammar and like writing rules, and it actually is it's fun to me, really fun to me, and I really enjoy it. Okay, but the most part is about English speaking actually. So that's why speaking English is really a tough journey for me actually. But like I said, that is why I say like sometimes like you don't need to be positive all the time. Sometimes you need to yourself, right? Like okay, I need to do this, I need to do this. But then if you don't force yourself, sometimes, right, it doesn't happen anyway. So sometimes you need to go through something, right, to become something better.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Yeah, grammar influenced us a lot, right? That's why whenever we try to speak, we think of the grammar first. That's have been our problem, like we are not able to speak well. And also, like also Mon mentioned this, we are afraid of judgmental people, like how people will consider if we make mistakes. So I think that has been a challenge for us when we learn English, that we have to be positive about the feedback as well as we need to reflect. So, and the last one, Kwai, how about you?
I think my biggest challenge in terms of learning English is when I need to use English to talk about certain aspect of Vietnamese culture, because some of the aspects in each culture is very unique, and so there is no English equivalent to those specific points. So it is very hard to talk about those things. So one thing that I learned is that to read more or watch more videos, especially the travel vlogs, because all of the vloggers, they have very good updates on the vocabulary, so we can learn something about them, and also read some English major books about tourism or how to say F and food and beverages industry. They also have very good books on to give you like those kind of technical terms. So I think that that is my biggest challenge in terms of like talking or writing about my culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's the same for I think the Burmese language as well, right? Because we also have a some like a culture, something like a cultural stuff that like don't exist, in the English language. So at the time, it's really difficult for the vocabulary. What I did was actually, fortunately, there are some books, especially about culture and like religious stuff, religious thing, and like that's available. That actually a Burmese writer uh, wrote it. So, and then um you can read. And this is just for the Burmese people, right? Like you can read the, how to say, like a kind of religious thing and also cultural thing in that book, like so the like a vocabulary for those kind of thing actually. So if you are interested in like maybe actually if you're going to be if you want to be a tourist, you really need to know the vocabulary and at the time. I mean, like for example, like the KMUTT, again, she wrote a really good book, and usually in her book, like there are like a vocabulary, right? Some vocabulary related to religion and Burmese culture as well. Really, I mean, recommend it.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So one last question to all of you. What would you like to suggest for the audience in their learning, in their English learning journey? How would you suggest? So can we start from Kwai?
I think that I would have like maybe two advice for beginners or like anyone who wants to continue their journey of learning English, is that find a purpose for your learning. It can be either fun journey, or it can be something about that really to answer some of your question, like from what are you curious about the world and you want to use English to explore. So that is your purpose. And then the second one is that don't forget your own national identity. Like whatever we do, whatever language we are learning, we are still a part of our culture and a citizen of a nation. So because right now we are not learning English to merge with other culture, we are also learning English to represent our own culture as well. So find your purpose, but don't forget to don't lose your identity during the journey. So that is my advice for the English learners. Yeah.
Thanks for the great advice. And how about Saul?
Okay, so for this prize, I would like to advise for the English language learner. Okay, so the first point is that find a model. It's mean like that you need to just to be motivated, right? You need to find uh, a singer, or like, for example, an actor, actress. For example, just like Jackie Chan, right? He cannot speak English before, but he try, even though he is not even like the high school student, he's not a university student, but according to his let's say the career in career, right? He tried to study English, and now he can speak English very well. And things this is kind of a model for you, for us, to be motivated, to be a part of our English learning journey. Yes. The second point is that I agree with you with quiz. Yeah, we don't need to forget our identities. For that, we in our country we have a lot of problems. Just like they give priority to the white people, right? So if you whenever they speak, whenever they are born or they stay in another Western country, when they came back to Myanmar, they say, I cannot speak Burmese anymore. I only know English. This is not this is not a good way, right? Because you need to give priority your identities first, right? So there's I think so. Yes, being a part of your English language, to be fluent, to be good at English is very good, but don't be just influenced by another identities, right? Yes. Yeah, this is.
Okay, thanks for
Can I?
sharing your suggestion. Okay, how about Mon?
Okay. So for me, I have like only one suggestion. Like we should learn English purposefully. That maybe also like kind of overlap with Koi's idea. Like you need to find a clear objective. Actually, like for me, I usually treat English as a tool for me to see the world surrounding me. So come up with a clear objectives and then treat English as your friend or as a tool to help you to achieve like another purpose. For example, like do something practical like cooking, singing, playing guitar, things like that. I'll learn about other things. So just learn English purposefully. And for me, I think English is a tool for us to communicate, not just like a subject at school. So we should learn English to communicate. That's it.
Okay, thanks for sharing. And August?
All right. So I think I will wrap up everything, right? So, um, so for first point, I agree with both Mon and Koi because you really need a purpose, of learning English. Without purpose, you cannot go forward, I think, right? Actually, when it comes to purpose, you need really sometimes like we learn English, but actually we need to how to say merge, like English with your interest or maybe with your career, right? For example, in my case, because I am an English teacher, right? So English and my teaching career, right? Maybe if you're an engineer, right? And then English and engineer, something like that. You need to merge with your own interest because English is just a bridge, like I said, okay? And even if you want to teach English, and like if you know English, you can just teach English like just because you know English. Actually, you need to learn, like a pedagogical things, a lot of stuff actually, if you want to become an English teacher. So trying to combine, English with another thing, okay, another maybe career, and especially and it should be a career, right? English and a career, something like that. And then it would, I think, and then your learning journey of English will be worthwhile, I think so, right? And last but not least, although I think I how to say, I said like you have to be serious, right? Something like that, right? Something like not something negative. Although I said like that, actually you should enjoy the journey actually, right? So should enjoy here means like, of course, like the journey itself, it's not an easy way. It's not easy, trust me. And sometimes you will feel depressed, and you'll find like, oh my God, I am in the intermediate level for a year, right? I don't know how to keep going, something like that. So anyway, like sometimes, yes, you will feel something like that and just keep going and then talk to maybe, of course, like you should have a mentor as well, like your mentor, or maybe even it could be your friend, like talk to someone and then find a way to improve yourself, something like that. So it could be a year, it could be 2 years, something like that. All right. So just trying to enjoy the journey, and that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, August, and thank you everyone for sharing great advices and suggestions. And for the audience who is watching this live, I hope our talk will be useful for your learning journey. And also, all of you are learning English for different purposes, and I hope you can keep going without giving up. And I think we share something useful for you today. And also, I would like to invite all of you to join the conversation club of our Fluency Butterfly International. So every Saturday and Sunday, we have the conversation clubs. On Saturday, we have general English, and on Sunday, we have IS speaking practice. It's from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Myanmar time. So please join us if you are interested and if you want like speaking buddies. So that's all for today. So this is the end of our talk today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you for everyone being our discussion here. Okay.
Bye bye.